Good morning, everybody. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Neeraj for giving me this topical presentation. It's very topical now because of the Avastin issues. So intravitreal injection has been a game changer in the field of ophthalmology, and over 6 million intravitreal injections were performed in 2014, and it has become the most common surgical procedure in ophthalmology. Endophthalmitis post intravitreal injections can be infectious or non-infectious. So it can be drug related. It could be because of the counterfeit medicine. It could be because of the lapse in the cold chain. All these drugs have to be kept in a cold chain. If that is broken, not maintained properly, you can land into trouble. And then procedure related, multiple use of the multi-dose vial, injection related and aseptic techniques. All these can cause infection. So this is a study from China, acute intraocular inflammation caused by endotoxin after intravitreal injection of counterfeit bevacizumab in Shanghai. So out of 116 patients, 80 developed intraocular inflammation. So all the patients received topical corticosteroids. So not everybody improved with topical drops. Vitreous tap and injection was performed on 43 patients and 21 underwent vitrectomy. So basically here the microbiological tests were negative and the patients were positive for endotoxin. So this was confirmed by the lab testing, and most of these patients do well. Almost 78% recovered their pre-injection vision. So this study implicates endotoxin as the cause of intraocular inflammation after the use of counterfeit Avastin. So a lot of cluster endophthalmitis that we see after Avastin could be because of the presence of endotoxins. So endotoxin is a liposaccharide derived from cell membranes of the gram-negative bacilli, and this can contaminate solutions and antibody preparations, and it can cause EOTS, that is endotoxin-induced ocular toxic syndrome, and it looks similar to the TAS which has been referred. And this could be the cause for cluster endophthalmitis. These are all culture-negative endophthalmitis after Avastin use. And now we'll go to the injection procedure related. How to use the dose of multi-dose vial of Avastin. A lot of people use there's a multiple withdrawal from the same vial within the same day or at different days under aseptic conditions. Either you can take a vial and make some 10-12 injections out of that, use it in a day and discard, or many people keep the vial in the refrigerator and keep using it, withdrawing it multiple times whenever the patient walks in. Or the other one is to aliquot, that is preparing single-use syringes from Avastin vials. United States Pharmacopoeia says that aliquoting within a laminar airflow workbench with the routine disinfection and air quality has to be class 5 environment. This is the recommended by the US State Pharmacopoeia. And studies have shown that this drug that is capped in a 1 ml syringe and kept in the fridge at 2 to 8 degrees is effective for over a month. So intravitreal Avastin, safety of multiple doses from a single vial for consecutive patients. Studies are there. So this is a comparative study. 10 injections from the same Avastin vial were prepared by a surgeon as compared to the Lucentis that was aspirated from a single vial. So this was the way he used it, and he gave 1,184 Avastin injections, 471 Lucentis injection, and endoff was seen in the case with Lucentis, but it was a culture negative one. So the prevalence of endophthalmitis was 1 in 1655, and there was no endophthalmitis after Avastin, but one case with Lucentis, which was culture negative. So it states that the current study shows that so long as proper sterile techniques are implemented, there were no cases of endophthalmitis from using the same vial. And the compounding pharmacy, this practice is used in the US. So the Pan American Collaborative Retina Society group, that is PACORS, reported more frequent infections in eyes injected using previously compounded aliquots than in eyes given injections from the same multi-dose vial that was reused appropriately. So the cluster of endophthalmitis was there with this organism Streptococcus mitis, and it was reported from Miami in Florida in 12 patients. And the same microorganism was found in cultures prepared from the unused syringes. So if the sterility is not taken care, then you can, whether you compound with a compound pharmacist or you yourself are doing, that risk is always there. So there is no final word on fractionation, which is the best method. And you should remember that compounded Avastin is stable at 4 degrees up to 4 months, for months together, but microbial contamination is still a concern since Avastin vials are preservative free. And multiple drawings from the same vial increases the risk of contamination due to you have to wipe the rubber. If you don't clean the stopper, you can touch the wiper in a wrong way, poor aseptic techniques, entering the vial without alcohol swabbing, injection of the air before you start aspirating, using a contaminated needle. So the chances of contamination could be more from multiple drawing techniques. This is the laminar workflow station. It can provide class 5 environment. So it has HEPA filter and so basically this is the ideal. If you have this facility, you should use this. And even after all precautions, endophthalmitis can happen. Multiple reports are there. So prevention is better than cure. So how do you reduce the risk? Topical antibiotics, studies have shown that no benefit of prophylactic topical antibiotics. Actually, one study showed that the overall rate of infection was greater if you used antibiotics compared to no antibiotics. And the other disadvantages could be increased risk of bacterial resistance. There is colonization by more virulent strains that can overcome the host defense mechanisms if you keep using antibiotics for repeated times. The best solution is povidone iodine. It is the only agent proven to reduce the risk of endophthalmitis after surgery. It is inexpensive, bactericidal with rapid kill time, and there is no reported resistance or anaphylaxis. And the Royal College recommends irrigation and the Academy installation. So there is a study that shows that irrigation resulted in fewer conjunctival cultures compared to the application of 2 drops on conjunctiva. So where to give? There was a study for that. This also 12,249 injections were given over a period of 6 years, 3,376 in OPD, 8,873 in the OT, and in the OPD 4 patients had end off. So the theatre setting could be a better option. Face mask is very important. A meta-analysis from the US showed that streptococcal species were approximately 3 times more common the cause of post-intravitreal injection endophthalmitis as compared to the EVS data. So this overrepresentation of streptococcus is believed to come from the oral cavity of either the healthcare providers or the patient. So there has to be less talking, the surgeon has to put a face mask, and all assistants also have to be masked. And meta-analysis of endophthalmitis after injection of anti-VEGF agents, causative organism and possible prevention strategies. So it was major US-based studies. Endophthalmitis was seen in 52 cases, that is 0.049, and 26 culture positive cases, coagulase negative staph in 17 cases, streptococcus species in 8 cases. So it's quite high. So it's 3 times more common as compared to the EVS data. And oral cavity is the male culprit. So standard operative procedures, perform the procedure in the OT, examine the lids, put a face mask, scrub and don sterile gloves, instill 0.5% paracaine drops, instill 5% povidone iodine, contact time for minimum 30 to 60 seconds, clean around the eyes and the lids with 10% povidone iodine, no touch technique, use buds to part the lids, drape the eye and use a sterile speculum, flood the conjunctival sac with 5% povidone iodine and place an anesthetic soaked bud at the site of injection, perform the injection with a new 30 gauge needle and check for perception of light. This is very important. Routine paracentesis should be discouraged. Don't massage the lids also because it can cause the glands to open up, and put a drop of 5% povidone iodine and give post-op instructions and examine the patient in the next 1 to 3 days. So the endophthalmitis after intravitreal injections has distinct characteristics. It's more virulent and the cumulative risk increases with repeated injections. So that also you have to remember. Most of the patients will have poorer visual outcomes and most of the cases need vitrectomy. Prevention is the best strategy and follow the standard operative procedures. This is just a video.
Preparation should scrub for at least 3 to 5 minutes and no shortcut to be taken for sterility, ensuring the mask is on and powder-free gloves are worn. Ensure the name, quantity, batch and expiry of the box before opening and again check the same on the vial. Also ensure the maintenance of cold chain during each step of transport. Loading of the drug in 10 cc syringe should be done in front of HEPA filter, preferably inside the hood. It is placed with cover on. After changing the needle, 1 cc syringes are opened from the back and placed with plunger at 0.15 cc mark. While pulling the plunger, the syringe should be in front of the HEPA filter with no obstacle in between, and same is done at the time of each subsequent step. Syringe is filled at desired level and then plunger pulled a bit to prevent inadvertent push and spillover of the drug. Same is repeated with all syringes. Then these syringes are capped with placing needles and taped with a sterile tape. The last syringe of the same vial is sent for culture. Packaging is done using a dual pack, the inside one being paper pack, which is again placed in a poly bag. The paper bag is same which is used for ETO. After this dual packing, it is then sealed. The seal is placed double to ensure sterility. Preparation of multiple pre-loaded syringes of Avastin ends with proper storage between 2 to 8 degrees centigrade in refrigerator. Before giving
Covered. Okay, thanks.